Students really need to be trained to be professionals. They need to get the skills, the acting, the singing, the dancing, and you don't have to go to New York.
All educators need a role model for their students. And particularly in a professional training program, we need professional role models for our students. And we are, in Duluth, fairly divorced from that. We have no equity theater.
It's important to have that connection, from college into the legitimate theater, professional theater. We have an internship program, and it's thriving. But in that situation, students are having to find whatever theater that they want to work with as an intern. We were looking for, quite frankly, a home.
We have to go to the Guthrie and to the Chan and to La-Di-Da to get the professional exposure, and all we do is get it as audience members.
Musical theater is a key part of what we do better than almost anywhere else in the state or the region.
To find an organization that truly is a role model of doing consistently good work.
Chan's the logical place for many of our students.
You don't have to do that take him down thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we fixed that.
Yeah, George, you just gotta beat it.
Gotta beat it.
That's on me.
Yeah, and it's like right about where you are. That'd be great. I went up to UMD and I directed She Loves Me. It was interesting. I found the students actually quite easy to direct. Sometimes professionals get really set in their ways and it's kind of hard to break them, but these kids were really open. They listened, they took direction, they were like sponges. I wasn't the first to go up there. There was also my lighting designer, Sue Berger, and my costume designer, Rich Hampson.
At UMD, they try really hard to give everybody a chance to learn everything. So in the professional world, where I might design a show, draft a show, program a show, and even help on the hang focus, at UMD they have separate students for each part of that. So it was quite a team that we had working, and I thought it was really good for them to do that. They also have a really good set department. At the production meetings they had 1 or 2 students at every meeting that were representing the prop department and representing the set department, and we had painters. UMD also does a lot of cross-disciplining. Somebody who may be trained in carpentry also has to then do some design.
It was fascinating to see the level of technical expertise that they had developed thus far and comment on different directions that they could go, and then also give them feedback about what theaters in the Twin Cities they could possibly contact when they were done with school.
These students were so skilled, and then they had wonderful supervision, and yet all the work was the students' work. As a professional in the field, I think it's really important to respect your team members. And with this exchange program that we have, they're seeing what it's like to work in a professional situation. And they're learning these skills, and they're working faster, and they're working smarter, and they're becoming better equipped to be employed once they graduate.
I have toured their costume shop at UMD, and it's a wonderful facility. It's a facility that anybody would love to have. So they have the space, they have the student interest. It's a great shop. I mean, I would actually give my eye teeth to have a shop that's as good as that. Down the road, I hope that some of their costume students will end up in my employ.
Some of them come in as interns in our scene shop, costume shop. Some of them start out on our stage as interns, and then pretty soon they're regular professional actors, and some of them have even turned Actors Equity professionals.
Making me recall how lovely love can be. I thought that I wanted to go to college out of state and away from home, and I wasn't sure about Duluth.
I'm a family person, I'm family oriented, so staying close to home was sort of a plus.
What I ended up loving about UMD was its faculty and the program setup.
You're able to work one-on-one with these faculty, and you're able to be in smaller classes.
It's definitely a conservatory program where there are small groups, professionals teaching students how to be professional.
I promise you'll be happy, and even if you're not, I loved working with my professors at UMD. Kate Eufema specifically is a wonderful, charismatic, passionate person who truly cares deeply about her students and will go out of her way, out of the country sometimes even, to find opportunities for her students.
For instance, they did this production of Footloose. I went to see it in Duluth, but that production was selected to be performed in Turkey, and the whole cast went to Turkey. Everyone, my daughter Kat, Cassano, Serena, the whole cast went to Turkey to perform that show. It was a great opportunity.
I'm very grateful to her for those life experiences.
I can't see why people look at me and only see the color of my face.
They're really great at bringing in professional directors and choreographers, as apart from the academic choreographers and directors, to really show you what it's like to work in a different setting.
Anything that will give their students a wider range of skills. So I was able, in my 4 years at UMD, I was able to work with guest directors from different theaters.
However, none of those guest directors were from the Twin Cities.
I used to go up to Duluth to see the shows. I confess, because my daughter was in many of them. But I'd get there, and the big surprise would be that I'd see all these other students, and I start earmarking them and say, I want that person to come and audition for me. Like Cassano, I asked him to come and audition for a specific show, and I think he's been on our stage for 3 years now. He's a big star.
Michael recognizing you as a UMD student, I mean, that's huge. In a sea of faces, to have some recognition there is very valuable.
The skills are very important, but the students also need support, and that's why we offer them a scholarship.
As a scholarship student, the scholarship from Chanhassen Dinner Theater has helped me a lot in the sense where it not only helps me financially to help afford my college education, but it also provided me with opportunity to go to Chan and sing. So that was a very good opportunity for me to just meet other people who are a part of this business outside of UMD in Duluth, which is always really, really good. As a student, it's kind of a thing where you have to work. You have to work in order to not be in a lot of debt, So I do have a job, but if I didn't have the scholarship, I would have to probably put more hours there.
Thank you.
Will he like me? Who can say?
I was a tour guide this summer for the university, and whenever I brought theater kids through, to be able to tell them that we had this alliance was really, a verifying thing for them, and then also the worried parents, oh, my child going into theater. So it was I talked about that alliance a lot, and how Michael was going to come direct, and how we had the internship set up and those scholarships, and that's a really impressive thing for the students to hear, and it makes them realize that we are a validated program, especially when a professional leader is taking note of us like that.
Thank you, madam. Please call again. Do call again, madam.
From our perspective, the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, this has been a great alliance, and it's had a terrific, positive response with the students.
Academic theater and professional theater is quite different, especially when you are also a full-time student while you're doing a show.
We still wonder, what's it like working with a professional? What's it like working in a professional theater? What's it like doing that? Because you don't get that when you're in school.
Just maintain a true perspective, and it's easy to...
Working with a professional director, he has certain expectations for us.
Always being prepared for rehearsal and being on time, and all that comes before you even walk into the rehearsal room.
It was really jarring, really, at the beginning of the rehearsal process because Michael worked very fast.
Do not lose your job! Come with me, Ilona.
You are expected to know your lines, you're expected to know your blocking, you're expected to know your choreography.
And adapt to situations, and to be able to really listen, to be present when you come into rehearsal rooms.
And along with that, implementing notes and always trying to meet the director halfway.
That's because it's cold out!
Everything that I've learned from the UMD Chanhassen Alliance is really going to set me up to go out in the real world and audition and be ready to start my career as a professional actress.
Together with UMD, we are creating a skilled young performer, a student professional.